This video is going to be about taking a standard twin Bonnell spring type mattress unit, steel mattress unit, and rolling it into an 8 or 9 inch diameter log. First thing, after I've stripped all of the foams and covers off, then I'll get it outside of my studio and I'll put my foot about 8 inches down from the long edge, use my body weight to bend the steel rod on the edge. Most steel mattress spring units have basically a 3/16 inch diameter steel rod around either side, because there's two identical sides to a mattress. Get my foot firmly planted and then lean back and try and get a nice even roll. Now mattresses, it's a brilliant design. One edge you can get it to be deformed, but the rest of the mattress will not. The design doesn't allow everything to be affected by one small section. Only on the edge, because of the steel rod, once you get that bent, you can do whatever you want with the edge, but it still doesn't do it in the middle. Well, after I do that, the next step is to take trampoline springs and to hook it to the back side, or the outer side, and then try and get it as far down as I can. And again, these Bonnell spring type mattresses work the best. There's 3 types of steel mattresses. The Bonnell spring has approximately 3-inch diameter coils, and you can easily see the rows, and so it's easy for me to count the rows as I use the trampoline springs and make sure that it's an even amount of tension. And in the middle, I've got to make sure I got to hold the side down, and I'll actually, with my left hand there, I'm tucking that front edge of the steel rod underneath one of the round Bonnell spring coils, and that helps keep it in place, at least while I'm rolling it. As I go along, and it's heated, after a couple of times I anneal the metal, I can control that a bit more, of how I tuck the edges of the leading edge of the roll underneath each roll of the Bonnell springs. And that's why that type of mattress works best, at least for hand rolling. And the reason I want to have a device created is so that I can take any type of mattress spring unit and roll it into an 8 to 9 inch log. Can't do that with any other type of mattress. And at this point, unless you cut the mattress open, you can't tell what type of coil spring you have. So once I get 4 or 5 of those trampoline springs, then I grab my torch and I anneal the metal. I usually start on the edge just to make sure that 3/16 inch diameter rod on the end has a fairly smooth curve to it. And then I'll move across the middle, take a couple minutes to do this. Kind of fun to watch the metal anneal. Hard to see on this video, but if you look closely, maybe once there's enough heat, some of those coil springs will start to deform. The heat removes the spring from the metal, and then it will stay in that shape. If I wouldn't heat it and I would just take the trampoline springs off, it would pretty much roll flat. So once I've got that done, so that I can keep the process going, I will spray it off, and it will sizzle pretty good. Cool it enough so that I can go and roll the next time with gloves. Takes about 4 rolls to get the mattress to about 12 inches in diameter, 10 inches or so, and then that final roll, it's more about flattening the outer edge. So now that it's cooled off a little bit, come back, and this is actually after the second roll, starting on the 3rd roll, or I will be once I remove all those. And this is where the amount of effort becomes, it just gets greater and greater, because that last flat part of the mattress doesn't want doesn't want to bend around the roll. Here's also where I'll do a lot of the tucking of the rows of the Bonnell spring coils, one underneath the next. Once that feels like they're all in place, then I can start grabbing the coil springs. But again, there's that amount of effort there and body weight that I got to put into it. And by this time, the springs are wet, my gloves are wet, the trampoline springs are wet. It's difficult to get them to stay in my hand. And trying to find the best position to get it to roll has a lot of effort that I'm hoping a machine or some sort of device will take away that amount of effort, physical effort, because some of the projects that I have planned for my logs require 10 or 20 or more, and my back won't take that, neither will my legs, because by this time in the process, my legs are burning. And this part of the video is pretty much real time, depending on how old the mattress is and the thickness of all the steel, because not every mattress is made with the same gauge steel. Not every one of them has the 3/16 inch outer edge and the 14 gauge metal for all of the coil springs. Some are cheaper made and they go faster, but the whole process is half an hour, 45 minutes, and it's a workout. I'm breathing pretty heavy, as you might hear by the time I'm done. Standing on it, sitting on it, whatever I got to do. Certainly a good workout. And reach the torch it again for a couple of minutes, watch it until all of the springs that have been affected by this roll stop deforming, and then you'll hear the sizzle of the metal right after. Again, spray it off, cool it down so I can touch it again. And this picture right here is after the third roll. And I'll start on the last actual roll, let's call it, because there's a couple near the end where I'm just trying to flatten that last edge, and that's where all of the effort is. Because there's just such a little bit of mattress that's flat left that it just doesn't want to become a part of the roll. And so there's a lot more effort, a lot more body weight, and that edge that I was holding doesn't want to stay very, very tight, and that's where the other two rolls. So this will be the fourth official roll, and I'll get that cinched up with the trampoline springs and heated up, but it's not quite tight enough for me to do work with. And here you'll see quite a bit of times that with the wet gloves and the wet trampoline springs, it just doesn't want to cooperate. So there's an exhaustion level and a frustration level. There it goes again. Isn't this fun? Clip it as far as I can, and in this roll I can't get it very far. And if it would stay exactly like that, that would be great, but it doesn't, especially on the ends, and that's where I really have to concentrate. Two more tightening rolls. Two more times with more, maybe 5 or 6 trampoline springs closer together, just trying to get it to stay tight and getting to as close as I can to that 8 or 9 inch diameter throughout the entire log. And that's another point of having a tool, that I would think that not only could I roll mattress logs with the three different types of mattress units, but I could also get them more consistently 8 to 9 inches, maybe even tighter. A lot of times the glove gets pinched underneath. Once I got it the other side hooked, crunching my fingers underneath there, and then sometimes the glove comes off and stays underneath that.